7-point game. Picked again. That is 5 turnovers in the last 11 plays.
Well, this has been a defensive battle. Neither offense has really been able to get much going.
Tight formation, a pitch. Barkley, first down, goodbye. Looks like we are headed for overtime. Trying to tie it or win it. Hurts keeps, throws, batted up and picked off. And the Chargers win the ball game.
Hello, happy Tuesday. Welcome to First Take, everyone. I am Shea Cornett, Chris Canty, Jeff Saturday in the house.
Hey now.
Stephen A. is here as well, coming to us from L.A. He was on Monday Night Countdown last night.
What's up, y'all?
Good morning, Stephen A.
Good
How
morning,
are
good
you?
morning. How y'all doing?
Look at how excited he is.
How smooth he is.
He got that mauve. Is that a mauve suit out there in L.A.? Okay, then.
Yeah.
It is long.
It looks kind of nice.
You know what's a big time?
What's up, y'all?
Big time suit when you won't find the color in that 64 box of crayons.
No.
You can't find that one.
Ain't
That's a very, very specific
Yes,
color.
sir. Yes, sir.
Hey, you know the simplest way to describe the color, rich.
That's
the best way to describe
Very
the color.
rich.
Hey, fellas.
Hold up.
Hey, fellas. We're on TV. But when I'm off TV.
Oh, he's got the
Oh, there we go.
I'm just saying.
This dude is too much. He
had
is
him ready.
too much.
He had him ready to go.
Can't hide money,
You
Jeff.
can't
You
hide
can't hide it. No matter how you try.
All right, not in the 64 box crayons. In the 124, though, you might find some mauve. All right, took overtime last night and a lot of turnovers, but the Chargers found a way to put the Eagles away. Justin Herbert, who had surgery on his left hand on Monday and yet still threw 139 yards, rushed for 66. He was sacked, though, 7 times. That wasn't good. The Eagles did finally get Saquon Barkley going. He had 122 yards on the ground, but Jalen Hurts threw 4 interceptions, including a game-sealing INT. Philly has now lost 3 straight, and so here's their head coach, Nick Sirianni.
We're built to overcome, and we know how to do that. And again, but it's going to start with the week of, this week, getting back late tonight or whatever tomorrow, and get back at it, right? And so we'll drag ourselves through the mud on the plane ride home. Look forward to watching the tape, see what we need to fix, and then you don't have a lot of time to feel sorry for yourself. You got to have that same confidence, that same joy that you come in every single day, and I'm looking forward to getting back to work.
So with the loss last night, the Eagles left the door cracked open for the NFC East title with 4 weeks remaining. The Eagles still have a 91% chance to win the division. They're projected to win 3 out of their final 4 games. Yet still, the Cowboys are right there for the taking, with Philly kind of in this free fall situation. Do we think they can still hold on to that NFC East? Stephen A., what do you think?
I did think I'll hold on to it, but I do think it's a precarious situation when you're talking about a quarterback that committed 5 turnovers. We can't get around that. Now, obviously, one of them was right through the hands of A.J. Brown. You know how much love I got for that brother. You know I think he's been a prophet in terms of pointing out the problems with the Philadelphia Eagles. I thought he got a bad rap for the most part throughout the season when people were calling him out, because all he was doing was bringing attention to what needed to have attention brought to it. But I got to tell you, one of those interceptions that went right through his hand, that dime that Jalen Hurts dropped in his eye, I understand, you know what, he had his arm tugged at or whatever, but that hit him right in the hands. You're big time. You're a man amongst boys. You got to pull that in the left end, of the end zone. To me, you got to pull that in. So those are 2 plays that I look at A.J. Brown and I'm like, damn, missed opportunity on the touchdown. Definitely that was alligator arms. There's no way to slice it. He felt footsteps, okay? And those were alligator arms. That is a catch. He is supposed to make that catch. That interception is not on Jalen Hurts. But what about the other 3 turnovers? And you got to take that into consideration, particularly the last one from the 17-yard line. You know, you can hit the guy right under CC, Jeff Saturday. You don't have to throw it, on the out pattern to the guy at the 1-yard line. It's 2 guys there, all right? You can't make that throw. You're in field goal range. You're in a position to tie. You know how much is on the line. Dallas has a tie on its record in your division, and they're tugging at your heels. All of those things come into consideration before the game. But if you're playing this game like Jalen Hurts has shown he's capable of playing this game, that is a mistake at that particular moment in time you simply cannot make. He's made it, and once again, we find ourselves here talking about the Eagles' offense, because the Eagles' defense, outside of that 80-yard drive to open the game by the Chargers, they put the Chargers pretty much on lock and key. The Chargers couldn't find a rhythm all game long. They really couldn't do much with that Eagles' defense. So the Eagles' defense showed up, gave them every opportunity to win, but Jalen Hurts and that offense didn't answer the call, and that's why they lost this game.
Yeah, SAS, I'm with you on that last turnover from Jalen Hurts. I don't know why he decided to force the ball.
Yeah.
But I also don't know why Nick Sirianni decided to put the ball in the air. You had 1st and 10 from the 17-yard line going in. Run the football.
Yeah.
Run it, especially behind the left side of the offensive line. They were absolutely dominant. Saquon Barkley had 8 rush attempts behind Jordan Mailata and Landon Dickerson. And guess what? He had 96 yards rushing, including 87 before contact. But a huge chunk of that came on that flip play.
Yeah,
but you still had half of those rush attempts be first downs, and you had 3 rush attempts over that left side of the offensive line that went for 10-plus yards. So I don't understand that. But to answer the question, the Philadelphia Eagles are going to win the NFC East. They are. When you look at the remaining schedule, they're going to cruise to 11 wins. But whether or not they win the division is not the conversation we should be having about the Philadelphia Eagles. The conversation we should be having about the Eagles is, how can this team position themselves to go back-to-back? Because that's all anybody talked about after they won Super Bowl 59. With the talent that they had on this roster, the young guys on the defensive side of the ball, Super Bowl MVP quarterback, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, an offensive line that was the most dominant in football that we've seen in some time, and the majority of those players coming back, we were saying to ourselves, are they going to be the 3rd team in the last quarter century to go back-to-back? We saw the Patriots do it. We saw the Chiefs do it. We were ready to compare the Eagles to those modern-day dynasties, and they are a far cry away from that. And based on what's happening on the offensive side of the ball, I don't know how they get back to the team that we saw at certain points this year, but also the team that we saw the majority of last year.
Yeah, I don't think they go back to last year, right? I think their offensive line, without Lane Johnson, they're 15-27. They were 15-25 before he got hurt. They've lost 2 in a row without him. He is an absolute stud at the right tackle position. Him being out has been detrimental for them on that side of the football. But here's the thing. I took a lot of grief on this show maybe a month and a half ago when everybody was telling me how boring this offense was, how boring the Eagles were. They're this, they're that. And I said, listen, there is a risk and reward profile that the Eagles stick to that allows them to win games. And we're reading cryptic texts from A.J. Brown, and everybody wants to worry about is he happy, what's happy. Everybody's got problems in Philly. They don't think Hurts can do it. I don't care if he can do it. It don't matter. You know how they win games? Don't turn the ball over. In the last 3 weeks, they're averaging 2+ turnovers a game, and they've lost every game. The truth of the Eagles is that they fell into the trap of listening to what everybody else thought. I don't care if you score 10 points a game because you beat the Packers doing it that way, right? You beat the Rams doing it that way. This is a good enough football team on the defensive side that if you just hold serve offensively and make it an ugly game and find ways to make big plays in the latter portion of games, you'll win a bunch. They targeted A.J. Brown 13 times last night. He had 3 drops. 1 was an interception that S.A. talked about. The first play of the game. Got to be a catch, man. If you're going to cry about, I got to get more touches, I'm here for a reason, they're not letting me do then when the ball hits you in the hands, you got to make the play. In the end zone, you got to make the play. Jalen Hurts, people can talk about how limited he is. Then when he does give you the right ball, you got to make the play. And CC, you and I both know this, and SA, you know this, man. If you're making a fuss, attention cuts both ways. If you're going to scream about it, then be about it. And last night, unfortunately, and look, Hurts did not play well. I'm not trying to absolve Hurts of what he did. What Stephen A. said at the beginning is 100% true. He didn't do enough. But it's the other guys as well, y'all. Like, don't just beat up on one. It's all of them. And offensively, they need to find. They cannot be in shotgun 40 times in a game. Put the man under center. I don't care who likes it, who don't like it. Go under center and throw the ball. It helps timing. It helps everybody. And right now they're trying to make everybody happy outside of their locker room instead of winning games.
Stephen A?
Well, I'll tell you this. I mean, listen, I get where you're coming from, and for the most part, Jeff, you're absolutely right. Again, A.J. Brown still has 6 catches for 100 yards, but the bottom line is there were missed opportunities.
Yeah.
It was a touchdown catch. No way around it. You got to make that play. And the interception, you had alligator arms. That's a fact. We all saw it, okay? So you got to look that out the way. But I'm also thinking about those 5 turnovers only being manufactured into 6 points by the Chargers, which means that even when your defense is playing on an elite level, this particular Eagles offense can find a way to lose the game for you still. That's the message that you have to peel from that, to me, is what should be so alarming. The fact that the defense was so stout last night and they helped neutralize, they really went about neutralizing the Chargers the way that they did. You're supposed to win that game.
Yep.
So this is one of those games, if we had asked the question, guys, did the Eagles lose it or did the Chargers win it? We'd be saying the Eagles lost it because of the positions that they put themselves in, the fact that their defense prevented the Chargers from taking advantage of the multitude of mishaps that happened, and still they walked away because uncharacteristically, you committed, you're averaging 3 turnovers a game over the last 3 games. You know, Jalen Hurts throws 40 times last night. He only completes 53% of his passes. He's got a quarterback rating of like 31 for crying out loud.
Yeah.
And you're looking at him making mistakes. You're not accustomed to seeing him make, which gives every indication something is just awry. Y'all are not on the same page. And then when you point about him not lining up behind center and constantly being in that shotgun, you're like, why is that? Why is that the case? Why? Why would you do that with Jalen Hurts, especially as big and as physical as he can be as a quarterback? There's a multitude of ways to use him, to put him in that situation time after time after time again. Made it easy for a Chargers defense to answer the call.
Yeah.
So on 1st and 10, you're throwing the football, and a lot of us are saying why, like we did at this table. Like, are we trying to prove something? I don't understand.
Yeah.
And as Stephen A. just said, it feels like they should have won this game despite the turnovers. So now we zoom in on Philly's offense. Do we feel like it's broken beyond repair, CC?
Yeah, we're going into week 15. If you ain't got it figured out by now, it's probably not going to happen. And we